Welcome back to the Metrodome in Barnsley. We are very much at the business end of the tournament, and Europe have a slender 1-point lead. It's been an absolute thriller, and this is where we stand. The teams have matched each other pretty much throughout this tournament. At the moment, Europe have that slender lead after Dominic Barrett, who's performed magnificently over this Weber Cup, just got the better of Bill O'Neill. Can they go 1 point away from victory? Well, please welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, representing Team Europe, Martin Larsen. And now, representing Team USA, Tommy Jones. It's a thriller at the Metrodome. Over to your commentators, Cass Edwards and Andy Bodfish.
The pain of 2012 has been wiped out for the men in blue, Team Europe, because it is they and not the Americans who are closing in on victory in the Weber Cup. 17-7, Europe were on the end of an absolute hiding 12 months ago. You have to say, it was looking that way at the end of the first session as well, as Europe trailed 5-1, but Martin Larsen leaves the most difficult split of all as he steps up in the opening frame.
Yeah, one of the problems of playing this wide on the lane as the ball comes back without sufficient drive to take the 7 or the 10 pin out, and it's the worst possible start off of a ball that actually didn't look that bad, but just drove nothing out to the corners, and so it's likely to be an open frame to start with. And it is. How unfortunate that is for Martin Larsen and the European boys.
Long way to go, but let's be honest, that's the worst possible start. You mentioned it there, Cass. Try and dress these things up nicely. Sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, well, the only worst start of that is a 5 and a gutter ball, I suppose. But he's made 9 pins, and the maximum score for Larsen drops down already to 279s, and Jones hasn't even bowled a ball yet. Well, what can I say?
Big 4.
7-10, big 4. Dear, oh dear. And believe it or not, unless Jones gets 3 of these, Larsen's going to be in the lead, which is just crazy. So let's call it an open frame apiece and bowl a 9-frame game. You'd really want to take advantage of that open by Larsen, and hard and fast. And oh, you've thrown pins away there. Now, if Tommy loses by 1, he'll be kicking himself all the way back to South Carolina. Dear oh dear, 6 miss.
That's a stunner, and it just goes to show, Cass, that even the top bowlers in the world, the top guys at their profession, they deal in pressure. They play in front of big audiences in the United States, in Europe, also on the Asian tour as well. But when it comes to the final night at the Weber Cup under the lights, well, the yips can get to anyone. Not to Martin there, though. That is a way to follow up his open frame with a strike. Europe are off and running.
Yes, indeed they are. This is a much better shot. See how far left Martin is on the approach, and how much that ball rips back. Well, look on his face. Look, almost surprised, but he's very happy indeed. Pressure back on Tommy Jones now.
Tommy Jones, no, something of the wounded animal about him, but he can't strike there either. Leaves that 10 pin hanging, and he'll have to spare in his second frame.
Oh, it's a much better shot, but unfortunately, yes, it is the 10 pin standing, and he's just going to have to get to grips with what's occurred in frame number 1. and what's happened in frame number 2. Now, Angry Man, dear oh dear, misses it on the inside by a country mile. Here we go, it's hard and straight, and dear oh dear. I'd hate to think what Chris Barnes thinks at this particular time. Tommy just can't believe it.
Well, it's like that old saying, isn't it? You don't fear your governor's anger, you just dread his disapproval.
Yeah, there's something. Tommy's got a problem with that area of the approach where he's sliding. But having said that, Martin Larsen is sliding in exactly the same area without any problem at all. So I'm not quite sure what it can be. And Larsen goes 2 in a row to really turn the screw and put the pressure on Tommy Jones.
Turning the screw is bang on, Cass. Now we're going to see what TJ, Mr. 300 himself, is really made of when the chips are down and when his team need him. This is a man who has already been beaten in this session in the singles by Mika Koivuniemi. Yes, that's more like it. That's the Tommy Jones we know.
Yes, certainly a much better shot. Absolutely ripped the rack and carried 10, so he'll be satisfied with that. He'll be dissatisfied with a 6 miss and a 9 miss in frames 1 and 2. He's going to have to regroup and shoot probably 6 in a row to cover what's been gone before.
Quick re-rack for Martin Larsen. Lost his opening singles against Mike Fagan deep into the opening session. Hit back by beating Bill O'Neill, session 2. A receiving end against Fagan at the tail end of session 3. And then exacted his revenge in session 4. 3 strikes in a row for Martin Larsen, and Europe are beginning to dare to dream.
Yeah, great looking shot here from the Super Swede. Lucky Larsen, they call him. It's just a fraction light in the pocket, and the 10 pins the last to go, but let's be lucky.
Well, there's the only new member of this Europe team in the 2013 Weber Cup squad. He will want to do his bit, I would argue, more than most. TJ striking 2 in a row now, and he's just have to scratch out those opening 2 frames, both of them open.
Yeah, indeed, he's doing more gardening, as we call it, on his feet. 9 open frames. Have a look at that. That's just a ridiculous number from the man who wants to take this lane home, because he shoots 300s before lunch when he comes to Barnsley, but open frames have stacked up against him now, and he's in trouble in this match as well. Martin Larsen looking for 4 strikes in a row.
And he claims 4 strikes in a row. He's hit the groove now, has the Swede. The man from the Partille in Sweden, back in for the first time since 2009, and he is helping Europe along to another Weber Cup victory. Strange, isn't it? Either Europe or the United States tend to claim their Weber Cup victories in batches. You never go 1 Europe, 1 USA, back to 1 Europe. Tommy Jones doing his best to claw the United States back towards a 3rd straight. It's 3 straight strikes.
Well, he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to make 255. He's going to shoot another 7 strikes, which will make 10 in a row, just to make the maximum score now.